Welcome to another episode of the Victory Podcast, driven by Audi. I'm your host, Keely Eure. We have a special mini episode in store for you today. I got the opportunity to sit down with USC's new Director of Football Sports Performance, Trumain Carroll. There is so much going on right now as we head into the season, so I'm very thankful he took the time out of his busy schedule to join the show. I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet, so without further ado, let's head into the interview. I'm so excited to welcome in the Director of Football Sports Performance, Trumain Carroll. Coach, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me on.
I'm sure it's been a whirlwind for you since you got to USC in May. What's it been like being a Trojan so far?
I was drinking through a fire hose, literally. It's been an amazing blessing just for not just myself, but for my family and then the staff, their families as well. So it's been tremendous. California is awesome. USC, the people here has just made this a wonderful transition.
When you come to a school in May, obviously that's a big undertaking. How did you attack it? What was the strategy?
We attacked it one day at a time. We know what the process looks like, and we went full speed ahead and just dove in and started with learning everybody's name, learning every thing that we could learn about this program, the strengths, the deficiencies of each guy, each athlete, their injury history. And so there was just a series of interviews. We really, did our homework, our research prior to that first workout, just to where when we stepped out on that field for the first time, we knew exactly who everyone was, what they needed to work on, and our plan of attack to go about it.
How long does something like that take? Because that seems like a lot to do on a big roster.
Yeah, and it's still going on. I'm still learning to this day, and so that's the beauty of our profession is that every day is something new. You're going to learn something that you didn't know the day before, and you're going to have to make adjustments on the fly. And so having that ability to adapt and adjust has really been crucial for our success, not just for the course of my career, but just as a staff, as we build, learning how to make those adjustments and think as one mind, when we can't always communicate verbally.
You talked about how your core values are trust and respect. How do you go about having that trust and respect when you have to know guys really fast? Like, is it just learning the names and they get surprised by that? How do you connect with guys in such a short period of time?
So the first step is learning the names, just because you want to be able to hold them accountable, but you don't want to just randomly yell out, hey, you, do this. Yeah. It's like, no, take the time to learn their name. That way they know that you're serious about getting to know them. Something that we also did upon getting here was we sat down with each guy on the roster individually and went through a goal sheet meeting with them. So, like, it had football goals on it, but it had goals to where what do you want to do in your personal life, just to give us a snapshot on what do these guys want and how do they want to go about it. Just to where what they put on that sheet isn't adding up with how they're working and performing when we're doing our training. I go back to that sheet and say, hey, this is what you put down. You sign your name here, I sign my name here, and 2 and 2 don't make 5. So help me understand. And so that helps with the accountability piece, but it also helps you understand what guys why they do what they do is. And so I think that's so important. When you understand people's why, then the what and how doesn't matter.
Yeah. I feel like you'd learn a lot about this team just by having those interviews. Did you see a common denominator of what people's whys were?
I mean, there's no common denominator. Like, the bottom line is that everybody has a why. Some people it's family related. Some people they want to make it a better situation for their family and future family, and other people they're using this as a stepping stone, as far as to what they want to do in their careers. And I mean, it's just a mixed bag of whys, but each one of them are equally as important as the other one.
What was it like from your perspective having to set the tone on the first workout?
There's no secret sauce about it. I mean, there's one rule: you either do it right or you do it again. And when we stick by that, there's no gray area. It's black or it's white. And I think that once the players and everybody sees that our staff, not just me, but our staff operates, in clear lines, and we're going to give you individualized feedback on what you need to improve in order to meet the standard, then there's no room for misinterpretation.
How did you see the guys respond to that discipline between day 1 and day 2?
I mean, we actually made it to the workout in day 2, so
okay.
They responded positively, and I think they saw that we were legit and we were going to have a high standard, and it was going to be that way consistently on a daily basis.
You talked about how you couldn't single out a leader. There was just so many guys stepping up as leaders. Does that make your job easier when there is kind of a council of leadership in that sense?
1,000%. And we met with those leaders Mondays and Fridays throughout the summer. And, you think that I'd be leading those meetings. No, I'm a spectator in those meetings. I pass them a sheet of paper. It's got 2 questions on it, and it makes them self-evaluate and self-reflect and goal set for the week. So it's those guys setting goals or objectives for the week. It's those guys holding themselves accountable, and it's them being interactive and giving each other feedback. Iron sharpens iron. You can't sharpen the cutter going through butter.
For you, how much easier does that make your job when the leadership is internal with the players?
It makes our job fun, just because, we can stick to doing our job, and that's, developing these guys, making sure we manage their loads and making sure that they perform at their optimal level on Saturdays, and they handle everything that from a player-driven discipline standpoint.
I thought it was interesting. Jaden Mayava talked about how you had recommended a book for him to read, and you've talked about how you want to pour into guys outside of football. What goes into that outside of just the weight room? How much does it take to know guys in order to recommend a book or do something like that?
I listen to them. I ask them specific questions, and when they tell me what they're dealing with or whatever that is, and I may not have the right advice for them, but I've read so many things that the right advice could be in a book, and that specific situation. I was talking to Jaden, and a book by author by the name of Trevor Mowad, came to mind, and so I recommended him that book for one specific passage, and he ended up reading the whole book and taking a lot from it.
From your perspective, how does your role change and evolve preseason to in season?
Preseason, obviously, coming in when we did, it was getting to know everyone, getting everyone to understand and operate within the standard, and to just lay that foundation from how you do one thing is how you do everything standpoint. And like that was a tough task, but that was actually the easy part of it. Now the tough part is maintaining and protecting that standard every single day. And so not letting complacency creep inside this program, just because, the biggest enemy of today's success is yesterday's success. So no matter, what the situation is, keeping these guys, focused on what they're here to do and attacking it one day at a time. So that's my role now, is just making sure we're not looking too far ahead, but we're not looking behind us either. We're just staying focused on and staying present in each moment.
How much of your program evolves with how taxing games are on Saturdays?
It varies from week to week. Obviously, you don't want to treat the season as a 12 or 13 or 14, 15-week season. You want to treat it as 1-week seasons. And so attacking it from that approach, you're going to have to be strategic in how how much rest guys get. If it's a game played on the West Coast, you got to account for those guys being able to travel back and get minimal sleep and get right back to it the very next day. So there's strategy involved in it, and there's a team of people that I'm happy to be a part of, that we sit and have those discussions each week based on our opponent, just to where we're making those adjustments.
What's your relationship like with nutrition? Because I'm sure those are hand-in-hand, strength and nutrition.
Oh, absolutely. It's more important than my job, actually, just because nutrition is how you fuel your body. And the thing is, it's like no matter how hard you train, you can never out-train a bad diet. And so with that being said, what Rachel does with her staff, is hand-in-hand and, more important, in my opinion, than what we do from a training standpoint. And so, but it's been awesome. It's been a great working relationship. We not only just meet with her, we meet as a sports performance, team department, and we meet every day. It's myself, it's athletic training, it's nutrition, it's sports science, and we're sitting in there talking about what just happened that day, and then what's coming up in the next couple of days, just to where we're making reactive, adjustments, but we're being as proactive as possible with what's about to come up.
With all the sections of sports performance that you just mentioned, I would imagine that's a lot of data that you have to work with. How do you make sense of all that data?
Well, Jackson Polk does a tremendous job in taking all the numbers, all of the data, and putting it in easy to read and easy to digest format. So he's been a critical piece of just the transition here and understanding what these athletes are capable of. Just because the saying goes, men lie and women lie, but numbers don't lie. And so having numbers and having data to to not only track what these athletes do on a daily basis, but be able to manage their loads and make sure that they're peaking at the right time.
Now, I don't want you to give away trade secrets, but I've always been curious about pregame warm-ups and what certain elements are important, stretching and whatnot. In your mind, as far as warm-ups, what is important to do before a game?
The playlist.
Okay.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah?
Yes, I believe, that music is energy, and I don't get into do I like the music that these guys listen to every day? That ain't my job. My job is to get these guys ready to go. So I know that music is a critical piece of what these guys dive into. So in my opinion, man, I think that the playlist has a big piece to do with getting guys ready to go on game day.
I was not expecting that answer. I was expecting something like, like data-wise, but I love it. The vibes are important.
1,000%.
As far as, I was just struck by the fact that when you walked into the Coliseum for the first time, you thought these guys need to earn the right to run in the Coliseum. What impact did walking into that stadium have on you?
It's one thing to see it on TV, but when you walk into it for the first time, you're just, wow. And then you think about all the rich history and the great games that you watched on TV growing up, played in this stadium, and now you get an opportunity to work here. So the last thing you want to do is disrespect it and not have that legacy carry on like what you were accustomed to seeing on television.
On the whole, for USC fans to get to know you, what do you like off the field, off the weight room?
I'm a homebody. And family man. I love chasing my kids around. My son Deuce is into baseball now, so every free minute that I get up here, I'll have my wife bring the kids up here, and we'll be on the turf in the weight room working on this baseball game. My daughter, she's 20 months old now, so she got me wrapped around her finger, and man, I just love to go out and just see what Los Angeles has to offer. So my wife is very outgoing, so not a whole lot of downtime, but when we do get downtime, we're gonna do something fun.
You're the homebody, but she's the extrovert.
Correct.
So opposites attract.
Yes, but she gets me out of my comfort zone, and I love it.
What's the best thing you've done in LA so far?
The Slime Institute.
Oh, I didn't even know that's a thing.
It's like a slime museum, man. Oh, it was incredible.
That's cool. I'm sure your kids must have loved that.
Oh, it was a blast. So,
I'm sure. Amazing.
The whole family enjoyed it, so I just say that.
That's really cool. Well, finally for you, Coach, what would be a success in your eyes for your program this season?
To have no regrets, to leave it all out there each and every single day, not just every Saturday, but every single day, and to walk out this building knowing that everybody did everything they could. We look back at it and we wouldn't do anything different.
Amazing. Well, I know this is a really busy time of year, so I appreciate your time and good luck this season.
Well, thank you for having me.
Alrighty, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Again, a big thank you to Coach True for coming on the show. I know he would much rather be training Trojans in the weight room rather than being in the studio, so I appreciate it. But like I said, that's going to wrap it up. Football season is almost here. I'm so excited. We'll see you on the next episode.